In this training session, we will cover the requisition process. The requisition process starts after a shopper has completed filling a cart. For this exercise, I've already completed filling a cart, and we will access it by clicking on the cart in the Carts tab. Here's my cart, and I'll proceed to checkout. Once you get to the requisition page, you'll notice that it says Draft Requisition right up here. The first thing you'll see is what's called a breadcrumb trail. This trail tells you the areas that might need attention. In this case, we'll notice check marks by a number of areas, and then we'll notice a red triangle by accounting codes. That tells us that we have something that needs to be changed in the accounting codes area. By looking at this yellow box, it tells us exactly what needs to be addressed. You'll notice in this area there are 5 tabs on this screen. Most of these tabs also have sub-tabs. By looking at each one of the areas underneath the Requisitions tab, we can view the sub-tabs. For example, here's the Summary. The Summary tab, if we click on it, will give us a view of all of the tabs listed, all of the sub-tabs listed under the Requisition tab. For example, you have a general box that gives you the name of the cart and who it was prepared by. You have a shipping box that gives you all of the shipping information. A billing box that gives you the billing information. Accounts code, accounting codes, which gives you the accounting information. Internal and external notes. Supplier information. And lastly, information about the product that you're ordering. As we look a little further into the requisition process, you'll notice that there is also a PR Approvals tab, a Comments tab, Attachments, and History. We're going to go through each one of these one at a time. We'll start with the Requisitions tab under the Summary screen. You'll notice that each box has an Edit button. By clicking on the Edit button, you can change what is within each one of these boxes. Let's address the one problem that's pointed out in this Account Codes box. In this case, it's an object code. If I click right here, it brings me to this field. By selecting from my profile values, I get a drop-down box where I can choose an object code. I click on the code, click Save, and it populates the box. Now you'll notice in our breadcrumb trail we have all check marks. This means that the requisition is ready to be processed. From here, we'll want to check some of the other information on the requisition. For example, we may want to look at the shipping information. If we want to edit the shipping information, we simply click Edit. In this case, we have a drop-down box to choose from, and we have 2 shipping addresses within the drop-down box. One of those for Central Receiving, and one of those for 1701 South Broadway, which is a Staples shipping address. The next box, the Bill To information, the accounts payable information will not change. This is a box we would come to assign our credit card. In this particular case, I do not have a credit card set up as a default, so it says no credit card has been assigned. If you have entered your credit card information and want to use it at this time, you can simply click Edit and then assign your credit card. Or if your credit card is set as a default, your credit card information will show up right here. We've already talked about the account code information, which shows up right here. If you need to split your funding, you can simply click Edit and an Add Split box will come up. If you click on the Add Split, it will add an additional line. At this level of funding, you have two choices for splitting of the funding. It's either percentage by price or percentage by quantity. The next box that we see is an internal notes box. There are a number of options within the internal notes. We can either add an attachment. If we click the Edit box, we can add an internal note. We can add a ditty. In this case, I'm going to add a note of return check to department and save. The internal notes box is for internal use to the university. The external notes box is for external use to the vendors. Anything that you put in this box will show up on the purchase order when it's sent to the vendor. In this case, we can also add an attachment, or we can edit and add a note to the vendor. Both of these boxes, internal and external notes, allow for attachment of documents like quotes, invoices, and anything else that needs to be attached to a purchase order, or if you need to pay a vendor. Next, we see our supplier information. This information can be edited by clicking on the Edit box. If we need to see additional information regarding the vendor, we can click on the More Info. You will also notice in this box that there's another box that has a place for the PO number, and it's yet to be assigned because the requisition has not completed the approval process yet. Our next box is the product description. It gives us a description of the item that we're purchasing and a price. The other way that we can split funding is at the line level. At the line level, we're able to split funding by either the percentage of the price, or you can also split funding by the amount. So there's more ways to split funding at the line level than there is at the header level. This is the header level right here. The line level split funding is done at the level of the individual item. If there are 2 or 3 items in this basket, basically there would be an edit box where I can click and then fund each one of the lines, or split fund within each line within the card. In this particular case, since I only have one line of funding, it's only letting me split funding at the header level, which is right here. At this point, if we don't need to make any more changes to the requisition is ready to go. Our breadcrumb trail shows all check marks, and we get a message saying all done. If I place the order, then it will move on to the purchase order process. The other option is to assign the card. If I wanted to assign the cart to another individual, I could simply click here. In this case, I'm ready to proceed, so I'm going to go ahead and place the order. The next box that you see gives you information about the requisition. You'll notice that the note up here has been changed from draft requisition to submitted, and a requisition number has been assigned. In this box, you will see the requisition number, and by clicking on it you can view the requisition. You can also see an Approvals tab that will show you where the requisition is in the approvals process. This concludes this training video. I will cover the approval process and the purchase order process in another video. Thank you.